Alright everyone, it's time to dive into my updated 5-3-man roster forecast for the Chicago Bears, right after mandatory minicamp and OTAs wrapped up. We're laying the groundwork for two more major roster updates, one during training camp in July and another just before the preseason finale, so this is truly mid-off-season territory. We're starting off strong with the quarterbacks. No surprises here. Caleb Williams, Tyson Bagent, and Case Keenum are all still in the mix. Austin Reed didn't make the cut and is headed toward the practice squad as the fourth quarterback. The only real question remains whether Bagent or Keenum will be the definitive backup behind Williams. I feel like Bagent has a slight edge, though I've heard Keenum look sharper throughout spring drills. That competition will continue into July and August, and it should be fun to watch unfold live. Moving on to the running backs, I still feel confident in predicting DeAndre Swift. Roschon Johnson, Kyle Manningham, and Travis Homer is the quartet that makes the cut. Homer remains on the bubble. If the Bears re-sign or trade for another back, especially somebody to boost that RB2 position, Homer could find himself on the outside looking in. A name you won't hear anymore is Ian Wheeler. He's already off the roster. Swift should be a non-negotiable unless a trade happens for a more established back. The bigger question is who claims that RB2 slot. Is it Roschon Johnson, fresh off a strong spring, or does Manningham continue his upward trajectory and take it? My gut says Roschon gets first shot, but Manningham's development can't be ignored. Wide receivers are next, and I've carried over 6 players from my previous prediction. Last time I had Miles Boykin in the group. This time, I've swapped him for Tyler Scott. Scott made more splash plays during the summer spills, particularly in OTs, so that change feels justified. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Zacchaeus remain locks despite Burden battling a soft tissue injury and missing a chunk of on-field work. Zacchaeus looks steady and may even have edged ahead of Burden simply due to availability. I'm keeping Dion Duvere and Tyler Scott in the fold for now. Both could still get cut depending on how special teams roles like punt return and kick return shake out. But for the moment, they're locked in my 6-man receiving cores. Next up, tight ends. I'm projecting 4 this time around. And increase from the 3 I mentioned last update. One reason is that Pete Johnson's offense likes 12 personnel packages, meaning 2 tight ends on the field at once, plus a few 13 personnel looks where 3 tight ends are deployed. Joe Wilson has stood out in recent weeks, pushing his way up the depth chart. He bounced around before landing on the Bears practice squad last season, but he's earned praise and is turning heads. The coaches have complimented his blocking, and he snagged multiple touchdowns from Caleb Williams in a recent red zone drill. He might edge out someone like Steven Carlson if he can demonstrate consistency in pads, so my quartet of TEs would be Cole Kmet, Colliston Loveland Durham Smite, a free agent addition, and Joe Wilson. I think there's a real shot he cracks. The final roster, and I bet on 4 tight ends heading into camp. That decision to go 4 tight ends pushes us to roll with 9 offensive linemen instead of 10. Last time, Doug Kramer seemed destined for the roster, but this time I see him hanging on. At left tackle, Ozzie Trapillo or Karen Amagi could push for starting snaps, but I'm favoring Braxton Jones for now. The interior predicted starters are Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Trapillo and Amagi will likely ride the pine in a backup capacity, but remain safe bets to stay on the roster. Luke Newman and Bill Murray project as interior backups, solid rotational pieces. Meanwhile, Ryan Bates may not make it back given ongoing shoulder concerns. There's buzz he might not even return to football. Doug Kramer can still carve out a spot as a fullback on certain packages, but that remains unclear. If he doesn't, he could end up slotted elsewhere or let go. Switching to defense, I'm projecting 9 players up front. The anchor spots, Montez Sweat and Grady Jarrett, are locks. I'm slotting Javon Dexter, Daya Dingbo as a starter alongside Andrew Billing. And Shama Turner at defensive tackle. For edge rush, the Bears need more pressure. Austin Booker and Dominique Robinson are there, but I'm leaning toward Robinson as the primary backup due to Johnson's comments and spring reps. He actually outpressed Booker in OTA, so trust him over Daniel Hardy, who's being deemed a lesser scheme fit. Hardy may be tried at linebacker, but as a pure edge, he's behind Robinson. Chris Williams would round out the 9. He's a classic rotational piece. Picks like Zach Pickens and Daniel Hardy are the odd men out here. The edge rush talent remains the Bears' most glaring roster hole. Sure, Robinson was serviceable, but this is a position you can't passively address. The team may seek another pass rusher before training camp. If not, they'll definitely be exploring the waiver wire or trade market. Some could argue running back deserves equal attention, but edge is the standout need right now. In the linebacker room, I've penciled in 5 players: TJ Edwards, Terrell Edwards, TREMAINE Edmunds, Ruben Hippoly, and Ian Agbogbamiga. I debated penciling Daniel Hardy here if they treat him as a genuine off-ball backup with special teams upside. But unless the staff feels comfortable with him in coverage and situational roles, I'd rather keep Noah Sue active. He's a special teams contributor and fits more naturally, even if Hardy has more size and experience. So 5 linebackers, unless Hardy interests the coaches enough to bump him in. For cornerbacks, I've stuck with the same 6. Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, and Kyler Gordon form the starter trio, with Stevenson on the cusp depending on preseason form. He shouldn't feel safe, as Terrell Smith and Z Frazier are pushing hard. Josh Blackwell is penciled in as the vertical nickel with special teams value, a classic role player who rarely makes headlines but still matters. 3 corners start. 2 more rotate in, so 6 makes sense. Moving on to safety, I'm predicting 4. Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker as starters, with Elijah Hicks and Jonathan Owens rounding out the group. All 4 are slated to be free agents next offseason, so they got extra motivation to earn new deal eligibility. I thought about adding a 5th safety, but decided against it. Some practice squad names may fill that role if needed, but won't make the initial cut. Specialists remain unchanged. Cairo Santos at kicker, Torrey Taylor punting, and Scott Daly snapping long and often steady. Finally, let's peek at the practice squad potential bubble. Austin Reed sticks naturally as the 4th quarterback. Running backs like Ian Wheeler remain fringe, and J.P. Richardson has enough big play upside as a returner to merit a spot. John Jackson and Caleb Williams, yes, the QB, could be developmental. Interior depth. Doug Kramer offers versatility as a fullback swing player if he doesn't make the active roster. Theo Benedette, a developmental tackle, could be stashed. Zach Pickens projects as a candidate for development, but conceivably someone will claim him. He was a 3rd-round pick, so there's interest league-wide. Edge rusher Xavier Carlton has length and upside, while old-school safety veterans Major Burns and Tyshim Johnson might stick to compete on special teams. That group will give the Bears flexibility to elevate call-ups in a pinch. There you have it. My mid-off-season, post-OTA, post-minicamp 5-3-man roster prediction, plus a look at potential practice squad candidates heading into a summer that truly slows the on-field drama but keeps roster intrigue alive. Stay locked in. Training camp content is on the way. And if any moves or rumors break this summer, you know we'll cover every single one right here. As we shift focus toward the final phase of this pre-camp roster analysis, there are a few more layers to peel back, especially when it comes to how roles might evolve and how some fringe players could force their way onto the team with a strong training camp. For example, that wide receiver group is anything but locked in past the top 3. DJ Moore is obviously a cornerstone. Rome Odunze, even as a rookie, is drawing all the attention with his physicality and route polish. And Luther Burden, despite the soft tissue issue, is too talented to ignore. But beyond those names, the door is wide open. Tyler Scott's made some noise recently, but Deon Duvere will have to prove he brings more value than just depth. Special teams contributions will absolutely be the deciding factor for one or both of those names. It wouldn't be shocking to see a name like J.P. Richardson make a real push, especially if he keeps flashing as a return specialist. With rule changes impacting kickoffs, teams are placing a renewed emphasis on return threats, and a guy who can flip the field is worth more now than ever. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the Chicago Bears training camp as whispers emerge about a possible internal conflict involving linebacker TREMAINE Edmunds. Sources close to the team suggest that Edmunds allegedly directed an offensive remark towards a fellow teammate during practice sessions, an incident that many insiders are calling unacceptable. While the Bears organization has not issued an official statement yet, speculation is growing that the front office is preparing to step in to address the matter before it escalates further. The Bears, known for fostering a tightly knit locker room environment, would view any signs of discord among key players as a threat to team cohesion and overall performance. Edmunds, who has been a pivotal figure on the defense since joining the squad, is reportedly at the center of this brewing controversy. Although the details of what was said remain unclear, the mere suggestion of disrespectful behavior on the practice field has stirred unease among teammates and coaching staff alike. If the rumors hold true, this could prompt swift action from the Bears management, who are eager to maintain discipline and respect within the ranks. Such a move would signal to the rest of the roster that negative behavior, especially among star players, will not be tolerated. Given Edmunds' prominent role in the defense, any disciplinary measures would likely be handled delicately but firmly, balancing accountability with the team's competitive goals. This situation raises questions about the Bears' internal dynamics and how leadership will navigate a potential clash that could impact the team's chemistry heading into the season. The timing is particularly sensitive, as training camp is a crucial period for building momentum and unity. With the media closely watching every development, the Bears may feel pressure to act decisively to quell the rumors and reassure fans and players alike. While some insiders suggest this might be an isolated incident blown out of proportion, others believe it could be indicative of larger challenges within the locker room. The Bears' response in the coming days will be telling, not only for Edmunds' future with the team, but also for the overall atmosphere in Chicago's camp. For now, the NFL community watches with bated breath as the story unfolds, wondering if the Bears will be able to contain the fallout, or if this rumor will spark a deeper conversation about respect and professionalism in the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.